Oh, baby, baby. Baby, can you hear me, baby? Checking in. Mic check. 1, 2. Yeah, sounds all right. Listen, it's been a pretty brutal week, all right? So it's been a pretty bad week. Let's see how the markets are doing, huh? So here's the crazy thing, all right? I'm going to turn this microphone maybe way too much up. Holy fuck. I scared my dog over there. I almost blew out the speakers. Jesus. All right. The lights aren't even set up yet, so I'm going to plug those in right quick. Let there be light. Whoa, that's a crazy reflection, bro. Why is it vibrating like that? That looks wild, dude. Oh, looks like God is coming down. Holy. What is going on? Dude, I don't even care. Let's go ahead and let's talk some stocks. See if I can share my screen. So guys, here's the thing. I've been buying everything lately, to be telling you 100% the truth. Like, I'm not telling you to just buy anything, but you should just look at the things you should buy. There's a lot of any things you should buy. And I'm not saying that, it needs to be a specific stock or something that, catches your eye, but I'm just saying you got to know your fundamentals. You got to know exactly what you're looking for. Something I've been looking at recently is myself right here, looking at myself. Did I stream? This is my laptop this is coming from. So here's the goddamn problem. All right. You tell me which laptop this is getting streamed to, because see, I got two here. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna move this one. And I'm gonna show y'all what we've been talking about, all right? First off, it's RobinHood. Freaking legend, bro. RobinHood legend is RobinHood dog shit. All right. There we go. This shit sucks. All right. Maybe let me hide my login real quick. I don't want y'all to see me logging in. Oh, you're back to me. How do I throw you guys up on that screen? There we go. I feel like I got to be looking at you, though. Over there. Yeah, that's good. All right. So, RobinHood legend, ladies and gentlemen, give me for RobinHood. This shit is dog water donkey, dude. This thing is so dumb. It is all technicals. There's no information here you can actually trade off of. I have tried every view. I've tried these templates. They suck. All of these suck. Okay, you're just looking at your positions in, 10 different ways. There's nothing that you can get here that's really that special. So these 8 trading views they got, bro, I don't know what these are supposed to do for you, but like splicing them out 100 different ways, it doesn't matter. Like looking at these, there's no data here. It's all technicals. I'm going to go with FinViz all day. So FinViz doesn't sponsor anything, but FinViz is clearly better. They got ads. Okay, the ads are shitty. I get that. Ads suck. I don't like ads. That ad is very annoying. However, look at the fundamentals here, guys, when I go to a company like Apple, AAPL, wow, I got nervous typing in Apple, bro. That's crazy. I mean, let's go check it out over here, right? Let's go apples to oranges here, guys. Looking at Apple, okay. What am I even fucking looking at? I'm just looking at some lines. I'm looking at a candlestick. Now, if you don't know what these candlesticks mean, guys, I'll explain it to you. But really, it's not anything that is you're really able to trade off of. It doesn't really give me any conviction. It just tells you what other people are doing in the market. So what these green lines here mean that they opened, some right here, and they closed here, and from here to there is the low to the high. So then on a red day, the open is going to be here and the close is going to be here. The low for that trading day, or the high for that trading day, and then the low for that trading day. So it's the opposite for when it goes red. But guys, I don't know how to trade off of that data. Like, to be honest with you, that's nothing. Like, that just tells you where other people are making moves. So if you're looking to sell, looking to get out of some positions, maybe you want to be checking technicals. Looking at volume, I think, is a better technical than a line chart like this. I think, news surrounding, if the CEO or who's buying, or, all of that is given to you guys in FinViz. As you scroll over here, it shows you the news. It gives you all the technicals. That's great. But what are we really looking for here, guys? We're looking for fundamentals, okay? Fundamentals. And what is a fundamental? You guys might be wondering why I'm talking so quiet. My wife is sleeping, so don't give me no shit. Also, this is her water bottle, so fuck off. Get those ridiculous glasses off. I got words to say about that. Talk about that in another video. All right, guys, what is a fundamental? So here's the thing. This is what a fundamental is, okay? It's something that is a statement of business operation, typically through financial reporting metrics such as an income statement or a balance sheet. It's actual conviction or cash on the books, or, apples to oranges comparison of profitability or margins, or something that really gives you that difference in a company, the moat in a company. The reason why you don't just go try to replace Apple computers, because this thing is top notch, right? If you try to go replace this, you're going to spend well over $2,000 developing it. Think about how much money Apple has spent developing their products, building that moat, right? So fundamentals, guys, are at the end of the day what we're looking at. That's our gold. That's our bedrock. Fundamentals. Warren Buffett talked about fundamentals, right? And he said, when it comes to investing, he doesn't have one strategy or technique. He just lumps it all together and uses his judgment and, study of the past to see or predict what he thinks is going to be likely trends, right? So one of these likely trends is going to have to do with GDP or inflation or war or AI or anything that affects your life on a macro level, on a scale that you can't control, but is sort of inevitable, or, going to happen eventually. So check out some of these fundamentals here. We'll go look at Apple's financials. And to be honest with you guys, Apple is not might not be right for your portfolio. They are risky, right? They're a tech company. They take a lot of risks. They don't pay big dividends because they don't need to attract shareholders quite in that way. They're looking more at growing their revenue or getting their products in more hands, right? And so since Apple is so dominant, they've sort of branched out in recent years to do these little, wallets on the back of the phone, or these little things, to add to your environment of AirPods and my iPad working together, and I can connect my cameras and all this stuff, which is Apple Intelligence, or just using Apple's Bluetooth capabilities. So Apple is definitely positioned themselves to be a successful company in years to come, and they have a proven track record. And the best way to view their track record is through their fundamentals, right? It's through their cash, their earnings. How much are they stockpiling? What are they spending their money on? For a company like Apple, you're going to want to, you want them to invest a lot of their money, reinvest organically and not use debt. So take the money from operations, build the laptop as top notch as you can, so you have a moat, no competitors can come in, and then take that money and spend it on things like research and development, or building out the different features behind your products to make them better, or different services, or the app store, or support app store, or allow developers to come on and have a network. So Apple really does have a pretty significant leeway in terms of, I think, consumer electronics. And I think as AI becomes sort of the thing, I think Apple smartphones are going to be able to run specifically AI features much better than any Android or sort of third-party app. And my justification for this, it's not strong, to be honest with you. I'm not very convicted on the technology side. I just look at any Android app or feature, and I think that it flails in comparison to when I use Instagram on my iPhone versus my buddy's Android. Just feels so cheap, to be honest with you. So jumping into the financials, it looks like the majority of Apple's revenue comes from their iPhone. Of course, that's their big product, right? With Apple, a big thing people have been talking about in recent years is cannibalization of the iPad, being that if they or people might stop buying the iPad, right? Touchscreen Mac that would replace the iPad. So this is a push I think we're bound to see eventually. It's not going to happen, for the next 2 to 3 years, but Apple will have a touchscreen computer in 3 to 5 years, guys. Like, I'm calling it. Apple's got to have a touchscreen in 5 years, or they're going to be so behind the game on what these computers are capable of. Again, we touched on AI and your smartphones, but there really is a lot of software and tech that I hope to get in with you guys eventually, that you're going to want your hands, right? You're going to want to be able to use your body, especially swiping or scrolling. It's a lot better than typing. I don't mind typing, guys, but it is nowhere close to having that foldable screen at work where you can completely interact with it and draw and diagram your idea. And this thing is going to be able to bend backwards. Like, this is not going to stay stagnant. It's going to go more toward the HP look. They're holding off right now. They're not doing it because they don't want to seem like copycats of design. So Apple's always very conservative. They're slow to the game on the full screen to screen, getting rid of the bezel on the ends, getting these black lines of the phone all the way around. They were very slow to do that, and Android users had it for 5 years before us Apple users do. But if you're patient, then I think Apple will eventually add those features. So enough on Apple, guys. I really like Apple, and none of this is investment advice, so to speak. I'm not going to tell you to buy Apple. I think that you should do your own research. It needs to fit into your total portfolio. You need to make sure that, it's something that works for you. This, for me, Apple is a company that I'm interested in and that I like to cover, and that I also own a little bit of Apple stock. So I do need to disclose that, but I also need you guys to know and need to disclose that, if Apple stock doesn't fit into your portfolio, then you guys can definitely consult an advisor. Don't take advice from me, some guy on YouTube with still 0 streamers, people watching. I'm talking to no one here. That's the thing. And honestly, I like it that way because I understand these companies and I can put it into words, but it might take some more words than, the average Joe. But the way I describe it is it's about the economy. It's about the total picture of these things, right? And so something that's been really big for me has been this Ray Dalio, changing world order. And he talks a lot about the political and geographical, war and shifts we're seeing around the world, which are so painstakingly hard, but again, are inevitable. And so while my heart goes out to the people who are, struggling or affected, I think there's going to be a lot of good that's going to come in the next 6 months to a year. And I know there's a lot of negativity online about the current administration or, this or that. But guys, I think Trump's good for our country. I think he's a pretty good policymaker. I like his stance on foreign affairs and trade. I know it's not super, high regard, not held in high regard with imposing tariffs, but over the long run, tariffs will help our country. In the short term, it could increase, product costs. That's one thing people have been talking about, is how tariffs are going to increase your costs, because these things coming in from Mexico or Canada or China are going to get a tariff slapped on them, and that's going to get passed on to you as the consumer. That's just not the case, guys. That's, you're not going to see an increase in these costs because you have an expectation of what they cost. You're not going to all of a sudden start paying more for certain goods that are imported. Most of the ones they're talking about are parts for cars or big industrial pieces that actually end up hurting our economy and taking money and people out of our workforce. And if we're not compensated for that loss of work, then the net effect is we are significantly worse off. And if you guys, haven't noticed or paying attention to inflation, or the fact that the Biden administration hasn't repealed previous tariffs imposed by the Trump administration, then it should tell you, at least a little bit, that they depend on those tariffs now. The Biden administration has, it's not only that they oppose them, they grow very fond of the money and what it can do and provide for the country. And to be honest with you, that those flows are going to be so much greater after Trump comes in, and the tariffs that he's going to impose. I know he announced today, but this is a big deal. To be honest with you, it's going to bring a lot of money to the United States, and this is a great thing. So don't be worried, guys. I think the cost of eggs, the cost of your groceries, your gas, all of it's gonna be better off. So you're just gonna need to be patient, and like I said, over the short term, there might be some product increases or cost increases to the consumer, but for the most part, things are going to become a lot more affordable. So those are kind of, this is when I say that it's so important to, listen to your mentors, or go back on former advice. Blend everything together. When I say if this doesn't match your total portfolio, this investment might not work for you, right? Because Apple is a risky company, and so it's important for you to take your opinions and put them through the washer, so to speak. Put them through the washer and dryer, and let them coincide, let them exist together, so that you can come out with a full, well-rounded opinion of these companies or these topics or these things in your life. I think that it's not that I try to guess what's going to happen in the economy or in the world or next, but I'm trying to think what's wrong with my thinking and what's flawed about the strategies that I'm or the positions I'm taking for my family, really, so that in the future I can set them up, with the best life and make the right decisions. And I think when you're doing that, it requires, a great deal of discernment. And so as you're doing that wash process, guys, make sure you're really focusing on what matters to you most. What's going to be your value judgment, what's going to set your morals, what's going to define who you are. And I think your morals are just a showing of either your past behavior or your broken habits. I think that will define, your business decisions and the way that you're able to see the world. So, guys, that was a short video, but I just wanted to go over Apple with you and talk about fundamentals, review Robinhood Legend. I trade on Robinhood, but I'm not a big fan. I don't like keeping all my money there. I've had issues pulling out with things like the GameStop situation or other, Dogecoin or I guess I haven't had anything with Bitcoin, but they have restricted or stopped some of my trades in the past. So I'm a little skeptical of Robinhood Legend, guys. To be honest with you, I just don't like all the technicals. It doesn't really do anything for you. So I would stick with something like FinViz and use this financials tool so that you can, see what the company's up to. See what I love those ads. Get those ads thrown in there. If you pay for this, I think it's like $300 a year or something. So if you're, real serious about your portfolio, I think you pay for it. For me, I just will use whatever brokerage account breakdown they'll give me, or they'll send me some sort of account summary. But I'm cheap, guys. I don't like paying for things. Maybe I'll buy this one day if I have money. I'll buy the actual FinViz, premium or whatever. But for now, the free version is going to be just fine for me. I wanted to show you how you can see. Sometimes I'll have consolidated statements in here. Latest filings will definitely have it. So this here is their 10Q, guys. If you don't know what a 10Q is, it is the quarterly statement that is accompanying the 10K. The 10K is the yearly financial statements that Apple and other public companies put out. So this 10Q is the quarterly one. We're all out of water, so we're gonna have to end this stream here in a second. But guys, these filings that companies are required to make with the SEC are super useful. This 10Q is maybe a little bit it's not less reliable per se, but a 10K is required from the SEC and is audited. So those are sort of the standard of truth. Those are from the horse's mouth, so to speak. These 10Qs are a little bit more speculative. Sometimes they'll do some projections or other things that they're maybe not allowed to do in the 10K, although with companies such as Apple, it's pretty rare that they step outside the bounds as far as making financial judgments, because as we'll learn, through this entire experience of posting my financial knowledge online, you guys will learn that these numbers really, they can either mean a lot or they mean nothing to nobody, and they could just be made up. To be honest with you, these could all be just, this means nothing to me if I don't know what $61 billion in product sales means, or, the fact that they're spending 8 billion or 8 million? I think this is normally in millions, so that would be $8 billion in research and development, which I just want you guys to imagine what $8 billion could go to for research and development, right? So the thing is, these are big numbers here, guys, and they don't mean anything to me until you put them into perspective and you really break them down and you know where those dollars are going. So I'd love to show you some spreadsheets that can show you how to do this type of analysis. Basically breaking this down, where does that $8 billion go, right? Or $8 million. It says it's in millions, so that means that's billion dollars. That's so much money. I mean, I knew Apple was raking in dough. That's 224 million. No, it's 224 billion. That's in thousands. Anyways, it's important to know what this pie, how this pie breaks down. Where is that money going? That's not all going to the iPhone. It's not all going to the iPad. Like, what are they researching and developing? It's not all going toward products. It's not all going toward software. It's getting allocated somewhere. And I think once you break that down, you can understand the true potential of where Apple is going. And so with Apple, guys, with some other tech companies or defense companies that we're going to get into, we're going to see exactly how they're spending their money or at least ways, mosaic theories of ways we can paint a picture of how we think they're spending their money, right? So mosaic theory is sort of that blend that I was telling you guys about, that wash, right? That you have to put all your opinions through. It's using everything to all of your available resources to come up with a strong conviction. So this is pretty interesting here, guys. Their cash position has decreased. Obviously, they're spending a little bit more money this year than they are last year. However, their marketable securities have gone up, which means they're buying, stocks that they foresee as fairly liquid, or in accounts that they're going to trade, in less than a year, or liquidate and realize value in less than a year of. This could be bonds, these could be equities. So they've increased their holdings of securities. Another interesting thing is they collected, this could be, some of the cash increase could have gone to this change in accounts receivable. As their accounts receivable have gone down, it means they've actually collected on payments, right? There's they have less outstanding accruals, which means they've either written some off, which they probably, wrote a little bit of that off. Another chunk of that, how much of that did they collect? I would say probably, 95%. Otherwise, they would probably disclose in their financial statements any write-offs from their AR or their expected. Of course, AR means accounts receivable, which is their expected cash amount. Or their expected payment amount, right? So you can create an AR for an amortization schedule. So, for example, every time you pay your mortgage, they're decreasing their accounts receivable and increasing their cash. I don't want you guys to think I'm an accountant, though. That's definitely not my intention here. That would be embarrassing. That would be a shame. Guys, I don't know if you noticed, but I get such bad ADHD, and when I'm reading these things or I'm trying to present, work the computer, talk, do all this stuff at the same time, my brain kind of goes in an interesting flow. So I might pick up and leave off at random times, but I'll always be with you here as we go through Apple's 10Q. So join me if you want to see us going through Apple's 10Q. And if you have questions, we'll be sure to get to those as well. I see some questions over here on Kick, so I want to respond to those. Yeah, I think I answered most of those already on inflation and things. So I think if you go check out Ray Dalio's, the Changing World Order 5-minute or 40-minute video, I think those are great explanations of how to trade based off of inflation. And I can't give specific securities listed here, obviously. So, guys, it's kind of late and my water is empty. So I'm gonna end the streams here. But I really appreciate you going through Apple's 10Q with me. I think that I definitely learned a lot, and I hope that you guys learned a lot. I think every time we come together, I just want to learn. I just want to help someone understand some of the things that I've learned, and this has given me a lot of ability to make decisions for my family and to save for them in a different way when I can invest and know that I'm doing something good with my savings and putting it toward companies and things that I truly believe in. So I think we finished going through this Apple 10Q at a later date, but I would love to know what you guys think. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time. Oh, so awkward. funny because I think I still have a stream going. And you can get next to me. Hopefully next time I do this, Patricia is not sleeping and then I can talk louder and maybe it's not so weird. I have like a little bit of a plan, know what to talk about. Oh man. RobinHood Legend truly is dog shit. This fucking sucks. This shit's the worst. Like, come on. Yeah, YouTube's still with me. No one on there, but dude, RobinHood's the worst. You guys gotta fix this freaking shit.